guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would have a little bit of a chat about the main reasons why people fail Weight Watchers or Wellness That Works WW. I recently did a video, maybe about a month ago, talking about why you're not losing weight on Weight Watchers, why the plan perhaps isn't working for you, maybe why you're struggling, you're not finding it relatable, you're not finding it easy, or you're not seeing results. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it above. You guys can go and check it out because that goes into some pretty decent specifics about the plan, the way you're following it, and the reasons why you might not be seeing results as you should want to. So go and check out the video if you haven't seen that. But this is just a different approach, like some other reasons perhaps, and just some stuff I think you might find helpful, because to be honest with you, and we all have this throughout the stage of our journey at some point where we just think, I can't do this, it's too much, I'm really stressed about it, I'm not seeing the results that I want to see, and it can be really overwhelming. And you might be just sat at that point in your journey whether to think, do I carry on, do I leave it, like I'm unhappy. And I hope that this reaches you in time for you guys to know that you're not alone. It is, you know, you can get quite anxious about it and it can be quite daunting and overwhelming, but if you kind of pick it apart and dissect it in a way and discover that you might be looking at something from a slightly different angle, and if you looked at it a bit differently, or if you did things a bit differently, you might see more positive results, then it could help you out and it might stop you from sort of being unhappy. So I hope this helps you in that way. So the first thing I'm going to say is, what is the reason you are doing this plan? What is it for? What's the incentive? What drives you? What motivates you? What is your why? And I mentioned this on How to Succeed on Weight Watchers video, and this is just about having a sit down when you're ready and having a really deep think about, why am I doing this? What do I want from this? Like, what is this going to bring to my life that I don't already have? And who am I doing this for, more importantly? Like, am I doing it for myself? Am I doing this for my partner? Am I doing it for my friends? Am I doing it for social media? Am I doing it for how I think I should look to society? Because all of those reasons are not great, and they're not going to drive you and motivate you as they should, and they're not going to promote a mental wellness. So sit down and have a bit of a think about what your why is, why you're doing this, and that can help you regain focus, that can help you get on track. You have to enter a plan like this in a good headspace. You have to be in a good mental state to do anything like this. So if you're not, it might be worth closing the book, come back to it in a few months down the line when you're ready, and you might find it a lot less daunting. It's never going to be completely easy, it's never going to be a breeze, but you might find it a little less stressful. So definitely think about your why. And that kind of brings me on to my next point, which is the approach. The approach, well, this comes with anything. This comes to anything in life. You can be a person where your glass is always half full, or you can be a person where your glass is half empty. We can't always help what's in our DNA. We can't always help the way we look at things and the way we are. I'm definitely a glass always full person, but my husband is definitely a glass half empty person. And that's absolutely fine. You're not going to be positive 100% of the time. Sometimes you're going to feel a bit shitty about things and it's not going to be great, but if you can try and approach it from a different mindset and try to choose to think about things differently, then that may help you out. It's all about choice, and it's all about changing things so that they suit you. Do you want to look at this as a diet, or do you want to look at this as a lifestyle choice? And I touched on this on the Weight Watchers is not a diet to me video. If you haven't seen that, I will link it because it's proper useful for you guys to kind of see my outlook and where I'm coming from when I recommend these things to you guys. The approach this as a lifestyle choice. Do not approach it as a diet. Do not approach this as your life is gone forever, that you're restricted, that you're on a diet for the rest of your life. It is not the case. You're simply following a plan that promotes mental and physical wellness, and that is different for everyone. Whatever you are to feel well about yourself and feel well physically, is that is what it is to you, and everyone is so different. But for me personally, I would say approach it in a positive as you can way, and approach it as a lifestyle choice as opposed to a diet, because once you get your head around that, you'll be surprised at just how much freer you feel and how much less daunting it is. So I would definitely recommend that for sure. The next thing is about food. So I mentioned in my What Motivates Me video, I'll link it above if you haven't seen it, food is a massive motivator for me. I am really motivated by food. I love to eat, of course, as you've seen from my What I Eat in a Day videos. So for me personally, I would say the main reason people could fail is because they're not eating interesting food. They're getting into a rut, they're opting for the wrong foods, not educating themselves on food, but also they're buying the same things all the time and they're getting bored with it and they're just thinking, I can't go on with this. If you're having a salad every single day for lunch, of course, you always get bored with it. Who wants that? Nobody wants that. Get interesting meals on the menu. Get inspiration. Watch my What I Eat in a Day videos. Look for other people that are doing What I Eat in a Day videos when it comes to following the same plan as you. Get books, get online. Like it really is as simple as getting inspired. Get more inspired. Even if you're a crap cook, like give it a try, because honestly these recipes are so easy to follow and they're so much fun as well. I get the kids involved, I get the family involved, we all cook together. It's so nice. And I've said this before, there is nothing more boring than having a set menu, in my opinion. Make sure the house is full of foods that you like to eat. Make sure the house is full of foods that inspire you to cook, to inspire you to try something new. Make sure that there's loads of healthy snacks in the house, lots of fruit, lots of veg, lots of nuts, just loads of things that you like to eat. And then you're less likely to pick up the phone and ring Domino's. Although I do think there's a time and a place for Domino's, at least once a week. But you know, have fun with it. Get creative with your menus and you will not regret it. Definitely a reason people fail is the boredom from food. And the next reason people fail, and I feel like this is one of the biggest, and this is one that I tend to see in people once they've got to goal, and it is restriction. You have to say yes. How many times have you guys heard me say that saying yes is just as important, just as motivating, just as relevant and significant as saying no? Because if you are saying no 100% of the time, where is the incentive? What is in it for you? What do you get out of this? I didn't get down to a size 8 to 10 to say no to a burger. I didn't get down from 12 stone 2 to 9 stone 3 to say no to a bag of Maltesers or a scoop of ice cream. It's no way to live. You have to say yes. Restriction all the time does not work. Sustainability comes with being realistic in your expectation of yourself, your expectation of your body. You want chocolate sometimes, you want a burger, you want a pizza, you want a big bowl of pasta, and you have to indulge in these things from time to time. And again, it goes back to portion control. It goes back to that sweet saying, everything in moderation. And I know that some people, especially before they get to goal, they don't want the temptation. They literally can't open the bag of crisps and know it's sat there without overindulging, and I get that, but I definitely feel like that is more your relationship with food that needs looking at, as opposed to the food itself that you're craving, if that makes sense. So that's a whole different thing that I could do a video on emotional eating, so do let me know if you would like to see something like that. But for sure, restriction 100% of the time does not work. You need to have a treat, guys. I want to see your treats on Instagram. I want to be tagged when you're having a burger for sure. That brings me on really nicely to my next point, and that is unrealistic expectations of yourself. There's nothing worse than having expectations on yourself anyways. I mean, how much pressure do we put on ourselves on a daily basis? How much pressure to succeed in our careers? How much pressure do we put on ourselves to bring up our kids, to make our relationships work, to be good people, to be better people, to be fit, to be wealthy, to be all of these pressures that we put on ourselves on a daily basis. I mean, just think of your poor little soul carrying all these burdens, carrying all of these expectations that just 9 times out of 10 aren't realistic. Do you know what I mean? Like, be realistic in your expectation of yourself. If you want to go out with your mates and have a good night out, go out and have it. Like, don't be that person that says no all of the time. Now, that kind of goes back to saying yes, but think about the expectations that you put on yourself. Would you put those on a friend? Would you put those on a child? Would you put them on a sibling? No, you wouldn't. You'd be supportive, you'd be nurturing, you'd be kind. So be kind to yourself for sure. And think about the expectations that you're putting on yourself. Think about the fact that, are they sustainable? Are they realistic? Can I live forever like this? And it'll be very easy to see where you're going wrong. So the next one comes into points and comes into rolling over points. What I think people can go wrong with when it comes to points is allocation. Are you spending your points wisely? Are you eating really nutritious, filling meals that fuel you? You really need to sit and have a think about your diet. Number 1, is it boring? I've just mentioned that. But number 2, is it fulfilling? Are you eating the right foods? What's your body telling you? You know, your body tells you a lot when it comes to a lot of things. It's a bit TMI, but your bowel movement will tell you a lot about your diet as well. And you need to be more in tune with your body. You need to learn about your body more. And I'm not perfect at it. There's times where I think, what the hell is my body doing? I have no idea. This is frustrating, but try and get to grips with yourself. Try to figure out, are you spending your points wisely? What are you eating? Are those points fulfilling you? Are they driving you? Look at your meal plans for the week before, and perhaps you had a really fantastic week. What did you eat that week? What was different? Just having a little bit of a look and having a little bit of a think might help you guys out. It might make you think like, oh, well, maybe I should be eating high in fiber foods, or maybe I should be eating a bit more carbs, or maybe I'm not getting enough protein. Just have a bit of a think about your diet. Where are your points going? Are you eating just your dailies, or are you eating your weeklies as well? All that kind of thing will impact, and it's just something you need to have a big think about. Like, I'm not one to fully eat my weeklies unless it's a mega special occasion and I literally cannot help it, or if it's like PMS or something like that. I very rarely eat all of my weeklies, and I generally always see a loss. I think in my whole journey of the 6 to 8 months that I've been doing this, I've had 2 weeks where I've not seen a loss. So, you know, that's something to think about. Like, what are you doing with your points? Are you saving them? And another thing is, do not do the binge eating on severe starving to save points. For example, if you know that you have a hen do coming up, or a wedding, or a christening, or whatever, and you know you're going to be eating all of the foods that you want to eat, or you have date night coming up at the end of the week, do not like starve yourself during the week. Do not let your points roll over. Wellness That Works have done it so that you can only roll over 4 a day, because that makes a sensible, healthy eating habit. So I made this mistake once at the beginning of my journey where I tried to save like 20 out of my 23 points a day, where I was just eating 0 point foods, hoping that they would all roll over. It doesn't work like that, and that's because, again, it's not a healthy way to go about things. It's not a sustainable way to go about things. So just have a look at your points, where you're spending them, what you're doing with them, and have a think about if that's affecting you. And then the last thing I wanted to say is where your focus is. Like, are you putting so much focus on the number and you're not seeing that number, and it's making it overwhelming, and it's like, no, I'm out, I can't do this anymore? And are you thinking about goal where it is way down the line and it's making it really overwhelming? Or are you thinking about every day at a time, every week at a time, every month at a time? Again, I think it's really easy to run ahead with ourselves and think about goal and think about getting to that number. What is that number I want? But it's all about the journey, and it's all about training your mind so that when you get to goal, you're not like, what do I do? How do I do this? You have to let your journey play out. I would say, yeah, have your goal in mind, of course, because it drives you, it gives you motivation, but don't focus on it every single day, because if you're thinking about an occasion every single day, then it's going to take forever to get to. It's going to be so overwhelming. It takes a long time to get to that goal. Whereas if you're thinking about it day by day, week by week, it's about getting yourself into the right headspace. It's about thinking about why this works for you, and if it's not, what you can do to make it work for you. Like, all of these factors, sit and have a good think. And if it's just not the right time for you, it's just not the right time. Write it off. Come back to it in 6 months. Come back to it in a year when you're ready. But those are things to definitely consider when it comes to why it may not be working for you, for sure. So, I know it was quite deep, today's topic, guys. I would really love to know what you guys think about this down below. Please comment. I reply to every single one. Do not be a silent viewer. I want to hear from you. I want you to get involved. Say hey. Don't ever think, by the way, that you're bothering me when you message me, when you reach out on Instagram, when you comment. I've had some people say, like, I didn't want to bother you, but I've been watching you for 4 years. It's like, bother me. I want to say hey. I want to get to know you all. So please do not think you're ever bothering me when you say hi, because I love it so much. It fuels me. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate you all so much. Have the best day. If you have any comments or questions, don't forget to comment with them down below. Subscribe if you're new to see more from me. And I will see you in my next video. Before I go, everything that I'm wearing, I will try to link it where possible. Nails, makeup, clothes, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.